Hey, this is Glendon and this is a very different video. It's about the Occupy Wall Street movement. In a few recent videos, I received some comments that I was blasting the people and I don't understand the movement. So I took an hour out of my day to research it because my biggest problem is, I understand you're disenfranchised, you're disenchanted, you're sick of the system the way that it is. I get that. But there are no goals to this movement. And I was watching a documentary about it, and they were talking about the parallels between the civil rights movements and this movement, and I'm here to tell you there are no parallels. There are none, because when black people were marching, they had specific grievances and they wanted addressed. This, hey, the top 1%, we're tired of you fucking us. Okay. This is my problem with this whole thing. Everybody wants to fix the system, except if everybody participated in the system that we have, we would not have the problems that we have. Number one, there were financial controls in place that would have prevented this meltdown. What happened? People were put in office who did not have the greater good as their driving force. How did this happen? That huge group of people in every election that does not vote. The same group of people who do not participate in our political process. If these people would step up and go to the booth and press that lever, fill out that form, it would change the outcome of every election that we've had since day one. So now that we have a bunch of people who did not participate in the process, and essentially it's become a rigged shell game, folks are out mad. Look, there's a heavy cost to freedom. It's a very heavy cost to freedom, and a lot of people have not been paying the price. They've been riding on the coattails of people who have been paying that price. Now it's like, whoa, long as the black people and the Latinos were on that lower social economic strata, they were just bitching. But now all of a sudden, everyone is in peril of being on that lower economic stratum. Hey, some shit's wrong. No, shit's been wrong for a very long time. Shit's been wrong for decades. We have a system that if you are a business owner, it works for you more so than if you're just a regular citizen. And I've been saying that for years, and for those of you who are starting a business, understand, it's gonna be hard, but the benefits are worth it. This is my problem with the Occupy Wall Street movement. We're just here, we're upset, we want people to know we're upset, but there is no specific agenda. I am not the sharpest knife in the drawer, I'm not the brightest guy in the world, but if those collective group of people got together and they pulled out their wallet, freaking $10, put it together in a corporation and start employing the disadvantaged people and bringing jobs back here that would have more impact than sitting in a park. That's my opinion. But I'm a capitalist. I've been on that side with an employee mindset that, hey, I go and give you these X amount of hours and you should take care of me. I should get paid time off. I should get health benefits. I should get the best of the best of the best of the best for the least amount of possible output that I can give you, my employer. Ha ha. Well, guess what? The tables have turned. And we've reverted back to what it used to be. And that's the thing is, you have to be in control of your own destiny. That's what I'm saying. I understand that these people are mad. I understand that, we all got screwed with this financial trickery that happened. The bailout, we got screwed. These same banks, these same corporations that got money are saying, hey, I'm not really going to participate in the American process. Oh, well, you can't make me and I'm not. Nah, boo, boo. That's the deal. Another thing that I see, there was this thing on the news today about a local company, Home Depot, shipping jobs overseas. Let's just really understand something here. When you start a company and you have a position that you need filled, is it the general population? Do they own that job, or does your company own that job? Your company owns that job. So it's really not American jobs. We live in a global economy. One of the reasons that Home Depot is shipping jobs across the street and people got mad, it's like, well, these foreigners do a better job, and people were feeling bashed. As a business owner who employed a lot of foreign immigrant labor, I'm sorry, there's a higher level of work ethic with a Mexican. Be mad, be upset, but it's the truth. I never had to run behind my Mexican laborers who were loading trucks and stuff like I did against the American guys. And I had one American guy who owns his own company and worked for me several times, and he hustled. Look, you wouldn't do it either. If you had a job, you had a budget, and your money was going towards that labor, you're going to want the best job, the best people, and the folks who are going to put some oomph in that job that you can get. So this whole notion of American jobs, and I'm like, let that go. Create your own reality. We live in a time where it's easier than ever to start a business. Easier than ever. Now, let's really properly put that in the right context. Starting a business is hard. Starting a business takes tremendous personal sacrifice. Sacrifice of time, money, sometimes even relationship, time spent with friends and family. It's a bitch. And that's the price of freedom. And if you're not willing to pay the price of freedom, you will not be free. I know people think I'm crazy up here and I'm saying this stuff, but this Occupy Wall Street, I did it. It was started by this Canadian group, Adbusters, and they just sat in the park because, hey, you know, I'm upset. Big whoop. Big whoop. Take that energy and channel it into something. That's what's going to make and facilitate change. I don't get, sitting in the park and, people are getting mad and the politicians have this political football because they can't arrest the people because then you're messing over the public and you should leave them alone. And from a political standpoint, if I was a mayor of a city, I wouldn't arrest them either. I was like, hey, let it ride, because you know what? Sooner or later, without an agenda, without power and momentum, it's going to fizzle out. There needs to be something else. And the solution is, number one, instead of sitting in the park, every company that you feel that has harmed this country, don't spend your money with them. And for many of you, this is going to create some hardships. That means you can't get certain things that you love. That's the price of freedom. If you're that pissed off, don't buy their products. Their stores, I will never go into again. I was treated so bad, I just don't go there. They do not get my money. There's certain companies I think really are doing a bad job in the world. They don't get my money. But many of you sit there and bitch and whine and then go around and on payday take your money to this company that you bash Monday through Friday. What kind of sense does that make? Take your money out of their pockets and you will facilitate change. Create another company that replaces that company, you will facilitate change. Sitting there going, I'm unhappy, I am disfranchised, I don't like how things are going, that's not really going to facilitate shit. Understand, during the civil rights movement, people died. Let's get that straight. Black people, white people, Christians, Jews who were against the injustice of Jim Crow died. There was a very, very high price that they paid just to participate in that movement. So there is no parallel between these two movements. If you want to take this country back, you need to roll up your sleeves, start digging in and creating your own economies and your own realities. That will get the attention of the big companies. When they look, whoa, our American profits are way down. They went down 25% in a month. That would get their attention. Oh, look, they're sitting in the park. Excuse me, Jeeves, I'll take another gin and tonic. Thank you, my good man. They're not paying attention to that. Only thing that's going to make a company change course is profitability, the lack thereof. That's what's going to do it. And something else, research. If you're trying to take out a company that gets 75% of its profits internationally, you've got to affect that company over there. This is business. This is business. I know a lot of people are like, hey, it sucks. and these people have the right idea. I don't think they have the right idea. I don't. I think they have gumption. I think they have energy. I think they have drive, but they have no fucking plan. And then, as a business owner, as someone who's gone and done many things in life, I know frequently when you engage in something with no plan, bad consequences can happen. Sure, something unintended success has happened many times. I don't see it coming because all I'm hearing about Occupy Wall Street, we're getting together, we're talking to our man, and we're fellowshipping, but what's your next act? What's the next big thing? What's really going to happen with this thing? Because I'm not going to go to the park here in Atlanta and hang out in the park. I am going to go sit in front of my MacBook Pro and start creating content and creating dollars from my good sense. That will change your reality. This whole, I don't know. Check me if I'm wrong, but I just don't really see it. But I'm a capitalist. I understand how the system works. And it works very well for me. Now, if you cannot change a system that has been in place for thousands of years on a whim, it's not going to happen. So, YouTube, people watching it, the folks who were like, hey, I'm bashing these people, and talk to me. Tell me exactly where is this train going? Because all I see is a circular train. We're in the park. 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 I don't get it. I mean, hey, you start in the park and then you're like, okay, because there's a central assembly and let's just start drawing up a list of demands like, hey, what we're going to do is get together and create our own large block political action committee. We're going to fund it. We're going to put our people in Washington, and our lobbyists are going to work on our behalf. And the thing is, there's so many people, if they just put in $1 to $10, this would create a huge fund to get these objectives achieved. It's because you got the numbers, but there is no collective consciousness that's leading this mass pack of people. I'm serious. It makes no sense to me. It's courageous and everybody's going, but if no agenda is developed real soon, this thing's going to fizzle out before Christmas. Just my opinion. It's going to be fizzling out before Christmas. Because something else needs to happen other than being in the park. And that's the deal. I don't know. It's interesting. It's not like the revolution over in the Middle East where they went over there and they were dragging their leaders out of the building and going, psh. Now that was a revolution. And as you can see, hey, Gaddafi, he's taking a dirt nap now. They're not playing. They're trying to facilitate change. But once again, there's another problem. Once they get all these bad guys out, who's going to run the country? Who has the experience to run the country? Essentially, yeah, they traded one sin for another. It's like, okay, we got rid of this bad guy. Now we have this very unstable country where everybody wants to run shit. And that ain't gonna work either. That's been in history. That has failed time and time again. So, let me know what you think. Alright, this is Glendon, and this is my opinion.